Yo, what's poppin', everybody? Welcome to another edition of Rumble House Sports. Baby, I'm your host, Jay.
And this is Chris.
And this your boy, Red, man.
Now look, Crown Jewel happened. Crown Jewel just ended. How are we feeling about this pay-per-view, Red, man? To me personally, it was a better pay-per-view than Extreme Rules. I think that they understood a lot of the disappointment. They played to the crowd with the Olympic silver medalist from Saudi Arabia, actually being there. And I think they did great with that. Hey, look, a year ago at Crown Jewel, they didn't have any women wrestle. This year, they had women be the co-main event. So shouts out to WWE. How do we feel about this, Red McMahon? Did they actually knock this one out the park?
Yeah, they did. They did really good. Crown Jewel, I would say, was a success, especially being that the women were allowed to wrestle and perform. Granted, albeit under Saudi Arabia, circumstances. Obviously, exactly. They obviously even down to the referee, the female or woman referee that WWE had, they all had to be completely covered up with no amount of type of visibility or skin showing. So considering, I thought that was fire that they figured that out. I thought that was really dope. Yeah, so considering that they had to wrestle under those, because I can only imagine for the people that performed, how uncomfortable that could have been to have to wrestle in a t-shirt and long sleeves and all of that. Right. But they still
they should have pulled the Power Rangers. When they got the ninja pits, like that's what they should. Bro, that would have been hard, bro.
But all in all, though, it was good. Definitely Crown Jewel. A few surprises. One surprise that I wasn't too happy about. But other than that, all in all, good pay-per-view, definitely.
Yeah, man, it was in fact a good pay-per-view. What do you mean you wasn't? Well, we'll get to that. Chris, how are you feeling about Crown Jewel? Are you kind of happy that the way that they did it? I mean, to the point where the pre-show was even good. The match that they had before Crown Jewel even kicked off between the Usos and what's their name? No, I'm just playing. Nah. But even
we just watched that movie the other day too. He said it ain't David Ruffin in the what's the name?
But how are we feeling about Crown Jewel, bro?
Man, I think that it was definitely a success. I mean, when you talk about what we got from Extreme Rules up to here, and
that
to go from that
match was fire.
Right,
Edge Light
exactly.
versus Edge, yes.
Yeah. Exactly. So to go from that to this, you know what I'm saying? I believe that WWE definitely heard the noise, basically saying like
murmuring and complaining.
They heard the complaining. They heard the murmuring and complaining. They heard the noise, from the fans. Like y'all gotta do something.
Yeah, y'all gotta.
The next pay-per-view, right. Y'all gotta do something better. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely feel like we got that from the pay-per-view. Definitely.
Yeah. They knocked it out of the park. I was really excited. I couldn't wait to watch SmackDown the next day because that's how good that pay-per-view was. It was at 10 o'clock in the day. But hey, that's what I really loved about it. Now look, so during this Crown Jewel event, the King of the Ring tournament came and went. Chris, are we happy about the results? We got Zelina Vega, who won the Queen's Crown, and then we got All Hail King Woods, who won King of the Ring, which, if y'all recall, a couple of episodes ago, I called that Xavier Woods was going to win that. So how are you feeling about these results, Chris?
I'm happy about this, especially for Xavier Woods. We know that Kofi kind of got that push. Now we know that Biggie is getting that push right now.
I see what you're going with that.
I'm just happy that they didn't leave Xavier Woods out to dry, because Xavier Woods actually is a pretty good wrestler. He's a really good wrestler. So for them to,
I'm happy he got rid of the honor roll, but yeah, he's good.
Yeah, so for them to see his skills and everything like that, for them to see his skills and basically like, okay, we still need to give this guy a singles push and not have him down to what he does with the other two guys. I'm definitely loving that they did that. So yeah, I'm excited with WWE's decision to do that. We'll see, how he does the whole all hell, because
all hell King Booker.
Whenever obviously nobody has ever done that role better than Booker T.
Yeah, that's
right?
a fact.
Nobody.
That's a fact.
He took that gimmick to new heights, to other heights. You cannot mention Booker T's reign, no pun intended. You can't mention his reign without mentioning him as King Booker. You know what I'm saying?
He was the greatest, probably the greatest King of the Ring champion of all time. I mean, absolutely. To actually win or go on a championship run as the King of the Ring champion, I don't think anybody else has gotten quite that type of push.
Type of a push now. No, they didn't. I mean, they Shinsuke got the Intercontinental Championship. I actually, the King of the Ring tournament is what kind of catapulted Stone Cold into the stardom that he was catapulted into. So it does give out good pushes. I hope that this is what we're going to see from X. I can't say that I'm a little bit disappointed on the Queens tournament because I really wanted Doudrop to win. I just knew Doudrop was going to win. But when we talk about these results, how are you feeling about this, Red McMahon? Do you kind of like where WWE went with this?
I will say this, like you said, most King of the Rings champions do get some type of a push. I feel like that was the case, way back when, especially obviously now that I am a proud subscriber to the WWE network. I can attest to that at a point in time that the King of the Ring winners did receive a sizable push. Unlike now, which I still say, even with that, King Booker definitely got a push that no other previous King of the Ring winners before him had got in terms of winning the World Heavyweight title while being a King of the Ring. Nobody else has gotten that push. But as you said, like I said, Stone Cold, Bret Hart, Owen Hart, the list goes on. When you won King of the Ring, it really set your career up into a totally different atmosphere. I don't think that's really quite the case now. I hope that changes with Xavier Woods. I feel like he has the character, the charismatic type of energy to be a really good King of the Ring. My only thing is that I don't know if you guys have paid attention to this. I was a bit surprised that they gave it to Xavier Woods, only because throughout the history of the King of the Ring winners, they have notoriously been a heel at the time that they won King of the Ring.
Look at you putting your wrestling history together like that. Okay. But
and so
they had to switch it up.
I was a bit surprised from that standpoint with Xavier Woods being a babyface winning King of the Ring. And I seen something on Bleacher Report that somebody had, there was a report, an article that came out that now that he is King of the Ring, this is probably the time to turn him heel, which makes sense because, again, the King of the Ring winners have all notoriously been heels at the time.
Xavier Woods heel?
I
will say that he probably would be able to actually get into character. He's great about being in character.
I'm just saying they've all like being here. Do we honestly think King Booker would have worked as a babyface?
Nah, I gotta give it to you. Yeah, that wouldn't happen.
It just wouldn't have happened.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I gotta give it to you.
Even Stone Cold Steve Austin, when he won King of the Ring, at that time that he won King of the Ring, was performing as a heel, not a babyface.
That's right. That's right. And then he basically became a babyface heel, honestly.
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, yeah.
The WWE universe loves.
They couldn't help but to get behind them. Yeah.
There is a such thing as a babyface heel.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, to be real, Roman Reigns is a babyface heel.
Now,
at this point,
yeah.
At this point, who really doesn't like Roman? The crowd loves Roman Reigns,
but I don't
tribal
consider
chief.
him a heel. That's my issue.
He's a heel.
But he is a heel.
I mean,
like in this current rivalry between him and Brock Lesnar, Brock
is the
Lesnar
heel.
is supposedly the baby face.
Is
No,
it
Brock
really?
is the baby face in the rivalry.
I don't agree with that.
I'm just proving a point that a babyface heel.
Yeah,
I'm just proving a point that a babyface heel is possible because we all love Roman Reigns as the tribal chief and head of the table.
Well,
he's knocking it out the park, but he's a heel. But he's a heel. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, like I said, you didn't really have to. Literally, Stone Cold is the epitome of a babyface heel. Like literally, he was against the corporation. He did whatever the hell that he wanted to do, and the crowd ate it up. The crowd loved it. So shouts out to him. Now talking about this, I think it's quite ironic that we are getting the World Eliminator Tournament from AEW now that the King of the Ring tournament is over and done with, and we are getting a TBS Women's Championship tournament as well. Guys, you couldn't be more obvious. Who knows? Maybe this all worked out the way that it did, but I like the fact that you guys are keeping up, that you guys are right there. These storylines are going perfectly together. But Red McMahon, I have to ask you, looking at this World Eliminator tournament, who do you have winning this? I'm picking Orange Cassidy, but I mean, we got Kenny Omega in there. Bryan Danielson just won his match. I think we're going to see Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson because I believe they're on the same side of the bracket. But who you got, bro?
Oh, man. Normally with tournaments like this, it's always a good time to establish a fresh superstar or, give like somebody new or different that hasn't quite gotten that push just yet. This is a way to send their career into like the next chapter of their of their story or whatever, the next part of their career. And so I actually like your pick with Orange Cassidy. I'm not too sure who, I can't recall who all is in the tournament again. But I would say Orange Cassidy would definitely be a good pick though.
Yeah, and I can Google it, but I think that's going to be good. I just don't want them to overuse Bryan Danielson. I get that he's your big draw, but I don't want to see him win a title. Like I don't want to see him come over, run through everybody, and win a title. Do you agree with that, Chris?
I mean, yeah, you got people like somebody they might throw it to is Kenny Omega. You know what I'm saying?
But he's already holding a title. Like he's already holding a title.
Right, yeah, that's true. But what I was gonna say is, I think ultimately having Bryan Danielson win, the elimination tournament wouldn't be bad for AEW. It just wouldn't. Everybody loves Bryan Danielson. I don't think it would be a bad thing. So if they gave it to him, I could see why. Some people might be upset and be like, it might be too obvious, so that makes me think they're not going to do it, because if they have him win, it's just too obvious, like y'all are forcing him, you know what I'm saying? Forcing him on us. But at the end of the day, I mean, can you blame him? You know what I'm saying? It's Bryan Danielson.
But that's the thing, man. I just believe that it's going to wind up folding. You keep pushing these ex-WWE stars when you have excellent homegrown talent. You have excellent homegrown talent. So with that being said, like why would you want to do that? You have the opportunity, like Red McMahon said, you have the opportunity to actually give a push to the stars that really have a good following behind them, that are lesser known. You can push their career into another stratosphere, and I think that's going to be the best option for this. And with the Queen's Crown, I gotta go with Jade. Jade is undefeated. I think that she just works. She has the attitude. We're talking about the people, at least in WWE, that win these tournaments are always heels. She has that attitude. She calls herself the baddest bitch. So therefore, I think it would be perfect to give it to her. That's just where I stand with that, man. But yeah, I think it is in fact going to be fire. I'm kind of not liking what they're doing with Lio Rush. Well, I don't know yet. He's making a call to Powerhouse Hobbs, saying that him and Dante Martin would be loyal, that they're great friends to have, and they'll be loyal. And we know that he did great with Bobby Lashley.
I'm excited. I'm excited about the Lio Rush signing. I am.
I want to see him wrestle. I mean, he is a great manager. He is. He's charismatic.
They gotta have him wrestle. But Lio Rush, honestly, he didn't get enough credit for how great his mic skills were.
Right.
Whenever he was with the WWE. And I dare say, even at that point, if his height is crazy, because the height of his career in the WWE was when they paired him with Bobby Lashley as a manager.
Right.
It wasn't
his
even
wrestling skills. 205 Live, he was killing.
But right. But he's a great wrestler. It was kind of crazy because I remember you introduced me to him for the first time, and you was like, hey, that dude can wrestle. And when I seen him wrestle for the first time, I was like, that dude be doing that? I really want them to push him as a wrestler, but they just have to not misuse him.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know what I'm saying? If you want to get him out there in front of the people just to get him liked, want to do the whole manager thing, I could kind of see it. But don't just let him do that and don't see what the in-ring ability is, and don't show the in-ring ability to the fans, because this dude has I hate to say this as not as a knock to AEW, but because it's gonna sound bad, but this dude has WWE in-ring ability. And that's not.
I see where you're going with it. No, I see where you're going. It's not a knock, but I see what you're going with.
Right, it's not a knock to AEW, but
that's like saying that somebody has NBA talent.
Right. It's not a knock to them, to AEW, but the in-ring ability in WWE is still better. They still
NBA
have
of pro wrestling is the WWE.
Right, exactly. They still have the top wrestlers, unless Christian disagree with me. Do you agree, Red McMahon? I mean, you have to utilize him the right way. I mean, I'm okay with them kind of walking him in, but we need to see him wrestle, right?
I think that was part of what was ultimately his demise within the WWE, was the fact that he was not being utilized as a wrestler. And I think he had a issue with that. And ultimately that was, like I said, led to his downfall within the WWE. But I agree with y'all. He definitely deserves to be utilized in an in-ring capacity. His in-ring ability is just too great to not be used. But his mic skills or his managerial skills are so great,
they are,
that you can't help but to not use him in that role.
You can't waste that talent, though.
I mean,
you have to figure out a way to do MJF. Let's figure out a way to do both.
I mean, I get it. Don't get me wrong. I get it. Like, they definitely do. But, the role that he's in, he's so good at it. And if AEW, unlike WWE, could just figure out a way to use that and turn it to where he also is wrestled with that, then it's golden. I mean, WWE knew what they was doing. Come on now. You have virtually, to many of those casual fans, an inexperienced guy in Lio Rush, and you pair him with Bobby Lashley. You don't do that unless you believe in this guy making Bobby Lashley look like a star. Believe. You see what I'm saying? His job was to make Bobby Lashley look like that indestructible force. You know what I'm saying?
And as we're talking, I think his pairing with Powerhouse Hobbs will be really, really good if that happens, because Powerhouse Hobbs has something that that Bobby Lashley didn't have, and that's that swag, that confidence, swag. I think it just paired great with Lio Rush, because that's
Bobby Lashley has definitely has definitely gotten that, because every since, I mean, you see it. I mean, he's a lot more comfortable now in the ring, and he's been a lot more destructive and dominant.
Well, he's always been, you know, a good in-ring wrestler from a WWE standard, but just that cockiness, the walk, like I say, just the overall swag he really didn't have. And you could kind of see it even within the Hurt business. It does look a little bit better. But Powerhouse Hobbs will be a perfect pairing for Lio. That's been this edition of Rumble House Sports. I'm your host, Jay.
And this is Chris.
And that's your boy, Red Man.
And let's go!